Lathika can start, please. Gopal, please sign.
So, good afternoon, everybody. At the onset, let me thank the scientific committee and Dr. Thomas Cherian, sir, for having given me this wonderful opportunity to present the story of our grand success in the terms of a grand journey to a grand success. So why am I here? I am here for the simple reason of having secured an ICMR grant by the Government of India, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare in the year 2025. I want to tell you that it was a thoroughly unplanned journey. Only the study was by my design. The success came up just by chance. And despite dabbling in research for many decades, I am a novice still on the grant path to grants. And this was my first application for a grant, and this was the first win also. So naturally, my reaction, or our reaction rather, when the grant came was, is this really for real? So, I mean, we were still very happy with the cash and with the appreciation and the applause, and we were all smiles. Till this hero thing came up, and Thomas Cherian sir told me that I'm supposed to be, telling you what and how we really won this grant. So then I knew that it is time for some homework, and actually I started thinking about what worked for us really. And I had to actually do some serious net crawling and came up with this ICMR norms of who gets selected for a grant, and then this came up, this retrospective analysis sort of thing, from where I found why actually we got this grant, which I'm going to share with you. So this is a growing concern. Is intravitreal anti-VEGF therapy really safe for the kidneys? And that is what warranted this study. So, and because anti-VEGF is growing rapidly in India, and kidney safety data from India is not there. It's really not, it is very scarce. The unique genetic makeup and lifestyle also influences our risk differently. So we need to optimize kidney health while advancing eye care. So that's what this project was actually about. It studied the effect of intravitreal antivascular, anti-VEGF therapy on renal function in patients with retinal diseases. Our primary objective was to monitor renal health changes before and after VEGFs, and secondary objective was to identify risk factors for renal impairment in people who are undergoing anti-VEGFs. I will not go into this slide, but I'll just tell you that it was a prospective study, and we did some baseline assessments on our anti-VEGF scheduled patients on these parameters and scheduled follow-up visits, and that's the plan for analyzing. Now, every story has a prequel, and that is where the study actually begins, much before the protocol happens. For me, it was around 1 year back. I started getting, all the patients who were sent for nephrology fitness started coming back saying they can't have the anti-VEGF injection. So, this concern was rising up in the fraternity, whether anti-VEGFs will affect kidneys. So, I said, no, the evidence is not robust, so much conflict. And the nephro said, but evidence is there in this thing. I can't take the responsibility for this. So then we sat together and said, why don't we look at it? And that is how this multidisciplinary study was born. And again, I could tick this retrospectively, because ICMR says that all researches should be question-driven and not process-driven. And here was my research, which was actually question-driven only. And what worked for us regarding this topic is its strong rationale, novelty, and impact, and alignment to the national health priorities set by ICMR, which included both eye diseases and kidney diseases. It provides locally relevant data in the Indian demographic, and it has translational potential to shape guidelines. Now, protocol design, everybody has heard this quote from Abe Lincoln, so protocol design was an iterative process. There were multiple exasperating drafts and discussions done over this. That is why our project proposal actually worked, because it was a longitudinal study. It was much higher in scientific rigor than retrospective. It was multidisciplinary, which ICMR's interest was great in that. And specific outcomes and measurable objectives. Again, ICMR emphasizes on precision, and methodology was quite robust. The discussion, how we pitched the discussion, focused on these points of translational potential, We stuck to protocol guidelines, budgeting and financial plan was provided, and it was a very strong and honest SOP. So the price is actually valuable, but what is priceless is the national validation that it gives me as a clinical researcher and the gratification of sparking the spirit of inquiry in a bright young mind. So for you, the take-home messages for anyone who aspires for a grant: align research with national health priorities, demonstrate novelty and local relevance clearly, detail robust feasible methodology and ethics, showcase multidisciplinary collaboration, present clear impact pathways and data plan. And just one more slide is I must acknowledge and appreciate my PG student, Dr. Ashley Anthony, for her complete dedication despite the fact that she was just 2 months into ophthalmology when she started with me on this project. I also acknowledge Dr. Raghunath, HOD Nephrology, for his inputs, Amala Integrated Medical Research Department, and my institute, who told me that this opportunity exists and supports me always in all kinds of research. Thank you all for the opportunity and the attention.
Thank you.